Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jeff Cordero, and today we're going over part 3 of everything that I think you should need if you want to work on your stuff at home. So video 1, we went over some really basic stuff. Video 2 was pretty much aero building, and like I said, this is the order that I kind of got my stuff in and how I got exposed to working on my own stuff. I don't think there's any right way or wrong way to do it. If you have the funds and the resources and the area to just go buy everything, then more power to you. But that was not me, that was not the case. So I had to kind of piece it together over the years. And this last section here is, this is it. All right, so one of the things that I actually didn't buy that I built was this drawboard right here. And all I did was I went to Lowe's, I bought a hand crank for a winch, a stud. I had this scale and the board. I wrote down all my tape marks for my draw lengths, and I have them marked off right here with a pencil. It's something really cheap. It's honestly something that I should have had a long time ago. It's a good way to check your timing. It's a good way to make any kind of D-loop adjustments you want. If different D-loops will adjust your overall draw length. So by doing that, you can really fine tune and figure out exactly what you want. And based off other bows, they might draw within, I don't know, a 1/4 inch or an 1/8 of an inch of each other. You can make those fine-tune adjustments with your drawboard. It's pretty cheap and it's a pretty effective tool to have. So I think that's probably the first thing that I would get on this part 3. Yeah, a drawboard. All right, so one of the next items on the list, and one that I actually kind of didn't get, and I got to a point where I just wanted to get it. I was tired of going to my local shop and getting them to cut arrows for me, making that extra trip. If I wanted to try different arrow lengths and tune my arrows by cutting off carbon and essentially stiffening them up a 1/4 inch at a time, it was kind of a pain in the ass to bring a handful of arrows and get all these different sizes cut and then be able to go back when I figure out what I wanted and have them cut all the same length. So what I did was I bought this D-cut arrow saw. I got this off of Lancaster. It's a great little arrow saw. There are some other ones that like Last Chance Archery Products makes that are, in my opinion, if you're not a shop, if you're just working on your own stuff at home, something like this is a great option. If you're a shop, there are other options out there that are going to be able to handle the volume of arrows that you're going to cut. But for me, I cut maybe a couple dozen a year. This is a great option for me. It comes with a foot pedal, so it's foot activated, so the saw doesn't have to sit there and run the whole time, which is nice. Yeah, an arrow saw. I think that's a great addition to have. You can do a lot with it. You can cut your arrows, you can cut your buddy's arrows. Over time, it might pay for itself, but for convenience, it definitely pays for itself. So an arrow saw is a great addition. So for me, maybe like you and many others, the holy grail to working on your own gear at home is the bow press. This right here is the Last Chance Archery Easy Green Press, and honestly this is one of their cheaper, more basic model bow presses that they offer, but for what I need it for, this does everything I want and some. If it's my target bow, which is 40 inches axle to axle, if it's this RX4 Ultra, which is 34 inches axle to axle, and I can press almost any bow on the market except for some of the pass limb parallel bow. I don't have the special arms to do that, but like I said, for what I'm using it for, it's great for me. This is not the electric version, so it is a hand crank, and it is not the wheel, which spins easier. It is also not the version that you can unpin it and turn it and raise it vertically and work on it. It is just the basic model bow press that they offer. For someone working at home, this I think is a great option. It doesn't have any bells and whistles. It's fairly inexpensive. I know it's still $400, $450. So the price tag is still up there, but for the investment of this thing has paid for itself 10 times over for me. For someone who likes to tinker, work on some stuff here and there, maybe put a few twists in or out and just try different things, try different strings, try different peeps. This for me is awesome. This press I have affixed to an old kitchen table. I've seen other people who've put them on toolboxes and they have all their tools nice, readily available in drawers. I think that's awesome. For me, I just have this magnet tray, which has got a bunch of stuff stuck in it right now. And the rest of my tools are just on the bench. It's kind of it's not as organized as I'd like to have it, but it is what it is. If a bow press is something that you want to get for your house, I highly suggest the Easy Green Press from Last Chance Archery. It's a great press. It doesn't have any of the bells and whistles, but it does exactly what you needed to do, and that's press your bow. All right, guys, well, that brings us to the end of this 3-part video series on the DIY bow shop and the equipment that I think that you need, or the equipment, more better said, that I bought for myself in the order I bought it in, and kind of how I started working on my own stuff. I started with just some basic levels, tape measures, and Allen wrenches to make sure everything was working properly on my bow. I could make small rest adjustments, small sight adjustments, and just kind of get into it and start to tinker with it. Then I bought all the equipment to do all my arrows, and I could start really building and customizing my arrows with different fletchings, different configurations, different colors. Just, I had a lot of options, and I really enjoyed that for a long time. But after doing it for a few years, I kind of wanted to take that next step, and that's when I bought the bow press. I bought a bow press, I bought an arrow saw, so I didn't have to use any of that like super sketchy Dremel arrow cutting stuff anymore. Yeah, I didn't want to do that anymore. So I just went out and bought an arrow saw and went legit with it. I bought a drawboard, or better yet, I built a drawboard. I bought all the equipment for it, built it. That was one of the areas that I was really able to save with. I know drawboards are not overly expensive, but I had the wood, I had some of the other stuff. I figured all I really needed was the hand crank and the galvanized rod with the bolt to hold it in. And for me, that was a great option. I've used the drawboard all the time. I love it. Some other things that I don't have, like a string jig and an arrow spine tester. I'd like to have an arrow spine tester in the future if I could find one on sale. I particularly don't want to spend $350 for an arrow spine tester, but maybe I will one day. A string jig to build my own strings. I don't think that's in the future for me right now. There are a lot of really great companies that build some awesome strings. And for me, I don't know, if I was going to decide where I was going to build strings and I was going to do it in volume, yeah, then it makes sense. But for me to build 1 or maybe 2 sets of strings a year, it'll take me a while before I can really get good at it, and I don't really want to do it. So yeah, no string jig for me. Like I said, there's a lot of other things that I know I missed in these videos. There's a lot of other knick-knack stuff that I've just picked up over time. And please, if you notice that I missed any of that in any of these 3 videos, drop a comment down below and let me know. And if there's any question you guys have, you can always drop a comment and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Please continue to comment, like, and subscribe. If you guys have any video ideas for me or things that you want to see me make a video on, please drop a comment down below and let me know. I'm always interested. There's a ton of stuff that I want to do, but if there's something that you guys really want to see, then let me hear it. Thank you again for following along, guys. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, which to me is just, it's mind-blowing. I do this for fun. For any other reason than this is stuff I'm already doing, and my wife was just kind of like, hey, you should probably record this and throw it up online, because I use YouTube as a huge resource to find different arrow configurations, bow setups, stabilizer weights. What do I need for my bow shop? These are all questions that at one point in time I had for myself, and my resource was to go to YouTube. YouTube is a great resource. So if I can help anyone out, and if you have picked up anything in any of these videos, hit that like button down below. Thank you for following along. 1,000 subscribers for me just seems, it's awesome. I really appreciate every single view that I get. I appreciate every subscription that I get, every like and comment. Thank you. I really, really do appreciate it. So until next time, guys, I'm Jeff Cordero. We'll check you out on the next video.